half. Easy. Oh, been looking at that. Oh, anyway, hey, we're live. Happy Tuesday. Season's over. Summer begins. Jared Bowen, Mr. England there. That's good. Areola got called up to France too, I guess. What else? So anyway, I have Irish Tommy with me today. I had to shift the time because of some personal bullshit with the washing machine. So I had to push it to the afternoon, my time, and Wally couldn't make it, so he gives his hellos and stuff, and he'll be on next week. But got Irish Tommy today, man. So how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Still a little disappointed at Sunday, but I'll get over it. But there's an opportunity missed, but I don't want to dwell on it too much. We've had a good season overall, and a lot to be thankful for, I think. We have to remember where we've come from. When David Moyes, things under Pellegrini started off quite brightly and then just went to shit. It was just a horrible experience. And then David Moyes obviously coming in, and we're thinking, Christ, we're going to be back in the fucking championship again. So where we've come from there, I just have to keep reminding myself, to be grateful.
It's tough though, especially going into the Brighton match. Everybody that I've been talking to, we were all like, all right, well, it's in Crystal Palace's hands, really. We will beat Brighton, or we should beat Brighton. We could beat Brighton, but even if we beat Brighton, we need Crystal Palace to do something, right? And then we're like, okay, well, that's not a guarantee. And then they did their job, and we fucked up. And again, it's not the way I wanted to go out.
No, that was the one scenario I didn't want. If United had gone and won at Palace, I wouldn't give a shit what happened at Brighton, frankly. But I knew United weren't winning that game. Those United players have down tools. They just have, they have no interest. They just want to get the season over with, be done with Redknapp, and just go away on their holidays and start afresh with Ten Hag. Those United players I knew had absolutely no interest left this season and didn't give a shit. So I knew Palace were winning that game. I felt like if we can just break our bogey against Brighton, we know what we need to do. We go there and we win. I was absolutely convinced. We go there and we win. We're in the Europa League. And that's the one disappointing thing for me. The fact that Palace did what I expected them to do, and we didn't hold our end up. It was just so disappointing, and that's what kind of is grating, really. When the opportunity was there and you fuck it up yourself. Because let's be honest, that second half was atrocious. For a team, for a team that at that point probably figured in their heads, Palace were leading. When we went in 1-0 up, surely the talking dressing room is, right, guys, just 45 minutes. Shoulder to the wheel for 45 minutes. Big 45 minutes. We're better than Brighton. It's why we are where we are in the league. Why we got to Europa League semi-final. We're a bloody good team. We're bloody good players. We're better than them. 45 minutes. Just give it everything. Let's put in a big performance, and we're in Europa League again. Yeah. And then for us to come out like a team that had nothing to play for and be dominated for 45 minutes by Brighton was shocking, really.
Yeah, I think we blew it, I don't know, weeks ago, though. Our form was shit. And I know it's the excuse of, the Thursday, Sundays are really difficult on the guys' legs and everything. And, you can't expect them to win on a Sunday if they played on a Thursday in Europa League. And I'm like, well, you kind of can, right? Because that's what they get paid to do, right? I would hope so. I'd hope they give it, a shift every week, every match. So I thought it didn't come down to that. It didn't come down to the Brighton match. I thought we fucked our chances up weeks ago. Really, there was some certain matches in there that were winnable, very winnable, and we just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, home to Burnley to not win is a fucking joke.
Oh, yeah. That's the
you
one.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, really, when you look at it, I mean, Man United were a fucking shambles, an absolute shambles. How we've not managed to finish ahead of them, I just don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the indictments I think against us from this season is that we have somehow managed to not have more points than fucking Man United, who were just in complete disarray.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be finishing behind them, Europa League or not. Like, to finish behind them is hard
Yeah.
to fathom. Really, it is. It just goes to show like how bad we were in the Premier League in the new year. For that first half of the season, I mean, we were tremendous.
Yeah.
That team from the first half of the season is pushing hard on Tottenham for that fourth spot. Hard.
Hard. Yeah.
And probably would have actually been fourth considering the head start we would have had.
Yeah.
So for us to end up actually in seventh behind Man United, it shows we really did have a poor second half of the season.
Yeah. I mean, again, yes, it's frustrating, especially the way it ended. It was super frustrating. I am just grateful for the season that we had. It was very enjoyable at moments. At times, there was some really good matches there. Let's go back to the very, very, very beginning and take a look at some of the reasons, really, why we had such a overall good season, but didn't quite have enough to push us over. Let's look at the transfers from last summer, actually. So I'm going to list off these names, and if you want to discuss any of them, Tommy, feel free to jump in.
Yep.
But yeah, it says here June 9th, we of 2021, we picked up 3. We picked up Pierre Ekwa for an undisclosed fee out of Chelsea, Thierry Nevers out of Reading for an undisclosed fee, and Craig fucking Dawson for $2 million from Watford.
Yeah. As for the first two, I never take any notice.
Exactly.
I see it on Twitter. We signed some young player to go in the youth team. I've seen this 100 times before. We'll never see them in the first team, probably.
Yeah.
Very few players actually make it from West Ham's youth team into the first team anymore. We're not really the Academy of Football anymore, like we used to be. I think next season we might have 2 players who actually start any meaningful number of games, which would be Ben Johnson and Rice. I don't think there will be anybody else who was a product of the youth system.
Well, we might.
And it remains to be seen, how many.
There's a couple names that are on here that I'll get to that may end up peaking in there at some point. Maybe even next
fleeting.
season.
I mean, I know, but I'm not talking about fleeting appearances.
Yeah, but so we talk about Craig Dawson. Then. Let's talk about Craig Dawson. Then. I mean, what are your thoughts on that for a fucking $2 million signing? £2 million.
Yeah, I mean,
signing,
look. When we signed him, again, didn't think much of it. I thought, okay, he's a bit of extra cover, fourth choice centre back.
Same here.
Cheap, okay, fine, whatever. Didn't have a problem with it. Okay. If we're in a pinch and we need another CB, at least we've got one there. Didn't really cost us anything. Fine with that. No problem having a fourth choice CB for when you do need one. And that's all I really thought about it. Until he got in the side and started punching above his weight.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that Craig Dawson.
No.
I'd seen him play. I've seen enough West Brom games, and I thought, yeah, he's a utility player. He's there in an emergency. He's experienced. He can do a job for a couple of games, whatever. But the way he's applied himself this season has astonished me. I didn't know that player was in there. So I think, obviously, look, he was inspired. This can happen, I guess, in sport. You get a player, okay, he's playing for West Brom. If they're struggling badly in the Premier League, he's playing for them in the Championship. It's not inspiring stuff. You're probably feeling a bit down every week because you're bloody losing games. And then when you're winning games in the Championship, it's maybe doesn't have the same feel about it, because you're playing Championship and you want to be in Premier League, really. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get signed by West Ham. proper Premier League team, and then you get your chance in the team, and you're probably thinking, "Fucking hell, this is it." Look at the players around me. I'm playing with fucking proper players now. I've got a real proper manager, proper players around me, like real quality, and I've got a chance here. If I can really pull my socks up and put in some displays, I might be really able to get some games here. And he did that. He stepped up, and he was inspired by his surroundings. I think he was so delighted to be at West Ham. He really just went for it, and it inspired him.
There was nothing inspiring at Watford. There was nothing inspiring at West Brom. No, so you're right.
Just kind of going through the motions as a pro, aren't you? Really. So, so I think and then I think once he did put in 2 or 3 really, really good performances and stayed in the team, I think it just gave him a huge amount of confidence, and he actually realized, maybe for the first time in his career, that actually I can do it at this level for a team like this in the top 10 of the Premier League. I actually am capable. I was just never really inspired before to really push myself to that level. Good for him. He surprised me. He surprised everybody, and has had a tremendous season. So fair play to Craig Dawson. He's belied his reputation, maybe even to himself. He's surprised himself, maybe even in some ways.
Yeah. The only, I guess the next signing was July 1st. It was Okaflex from Celtic. That's proven to be a decent signing. He's been flying off the fucking rails down there in the 23s.
Yeah, it's been a great signing for the under 23s.
That's what I mean, and that's one of the names that, who knows, he out of the lot of them, I would say he has probably one of the best chances of actually getting a chance and doing something.
I don't know. I would have thought
year or two, especially if we don't sign a fucking striker.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously he's not far off if he's making the bench. First team bench at times. He can't be far away. But it's hard to say with Moyes. It seems to take a lot for him to chuck someone in.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times this season where it seemed the obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
Was to get him on the pitch, and it didn't happen. So we were seeing Yarmolenko, or he would just put Bowen up front and put someone else out on the right wing. Rather than chuck Okaflex in as a straight swap for Antonio. So it's hard to know with Moyes. I think if we do sign like a really proper number 9 who's going to start for us next season, I think that Okaflex is fucked. Because then he's going to be he's going to be behind the new striker, behind Antonio, behind Bowen. He's never getting a game.
I know, but you're right. I don't see us getting a new striker, but we'll get onto that later. So the next guy was the next guy that signed, extremely forgettable. I didn't even realize we even signed the fucking guy. Apparently some goalkeeper from Rangers, Brian Kinnear, on August 3rd. And then we signed on the 28th of August, Kurt Zuma. And then on deadline day, we picked up Nikola Vlasic. So.
Okay, well, we'll start at the start. Kinnear had no idea he was at the club. Don't know what he's doing, where he is.
I don't know where he is.
Is he like a training ground?
Do they include trials on this or something? I don't know.
No idea who Kinnear is.
It says free transfer. We signed him. Oh.
Signed him on a permanent? Okay.
I don't
know. How old is he?
That's a great fuck. He doesn't even say. Oh God!
I guess his age will factor into it. If he's a youngster, then fine, okay. He's
21. He's
21. Okay, he's an.
It does say he's on the under 23 team, but he's not getting any minutes really.
So he's sub keeper for the under 23s. Okay, don't think we need to say too much about that. We'll never see him.
Exactly. But then Zuma, right?
Now we're talking. Now we're getting some business done. Kurt Zuma. I mean, I was, when we were strongly linked with him, and it was clear that we were in talks, to sign him. I was crossing everything. I was like, oh my God, please make this happen. Please make this happen. And when he signed, I mean, I was, as they say in the north of England, I was cock a hoop. That was a brilliant signing. I was delighted when we got him because I thought, oh, that is an absolute. I was very surprised. Very surprised Chelsea actually sold him to us. I didn't think they'd want to let him go, but
Yeah,
especially as they had moved Tomori on, who'd gone over to Roma, I think it was. So I didn't think they'd let Zuma go as well. But when we signed Zuma, I mean, I thought, well, no, this is the kind of signing we need to be making, and we need more of these.
I do remember that feeling.
Unbelievable
Yeah,
signing. Yeah,
yeah.
he's and we've seen it this season. I mean, Justin, he is one. I'm not one for hyperbole, but if you're lining up Premier League centre backs from top to bottom, I mean, he's up there. He's not far down that list at all. I mean, he is really, really quality.
Yeah, I can't think of many. It's like Declan, where I can't. We were talking about this a couple weeks ago. I can't really pinpoint many, if any at all, like bad, like really blatantly horrible performances overall. They're rare.
Yeah, and
There's
look,
also matches where you're like,
yeah.
okay, he was there, but they didn't do anything magnificent. But I mean, but for the most part, it's hard to find
At
really
worst,
poor performances.
yeah. At worst, he's been solid.
Yeah,
On his worst day, he's been solid.
yeah,
On
yeah.
his like on his bad day, he gets a 7. So,
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of that, what about Vlasic?
Oh Christ! What a monumental waste of money that was.
Monumental.
This is why
33.5 million.
Yeah, this is why I always worry, deeply worry, when we splash big money on deadline day. Because I'm thinking, okay, this smacks now of we've failed to get the guys we really want, and now we're going to panic buy this guy and hope it works out.
It was more money than Zuma and Dawson. Actually, any of those names I mentioned already, all combined, it's still less than what we paid for Nikola Vlasic.
Yeah,
or supposed to pay for. Yeah.
Yeah. Now at the time, I was like, okay, I know who he is. He has a bit of a. He was at Everton, didn't work out there for him. Okay, fine. He was like 19, so I won't judge him too harshly on that. He's been playing very well for Croatia. I did see him play for Croatia a number of times, and he looked a really tidy player. And I thought, okay, look, if Moyes can get a tune out of him, then we could have a very good player in our hands.
He's an attacking midfielder who's definitely not the Fellaini type. Probably the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
didn't know what he was thinking really, but
yeah. So I thought, okay, Vlasic's coming in. He's going to play at number 10. That's his position. He's going to play at number 10. He's got some ability. His passing is good. He's got a nice touch and all this. Works hard. Good attitude. I thought he could be a very useful number 10. Problem is, we didn't see him at number 10. He was pushed out onto the wings and did his best, I think. I never saw any attitude problem from him. I think he tried to do his best out there, but it's not his position. He was a duck out of water out there, really. Look, this is more of the kind of David Moyes square pegs and round holes stuff. Like, you can't sign a fucking number 10 for that kind of money and then chuck him out on the wing. You just can't do it. If you're going to sign a number 10 for that kind of money, you've got to play him at number 10. If you want to get your money's worth, you want to get the best out of him.
So was that a Moyes signing, or was that a Sullivan Gold?
That's the question, isn't it? That's the burning question. I don't really know that. I'm going to move this slightly because I think there's a little bit of glare from the sun. I don't really know the answer to that question.
I don't either.
But I've
heard that it could be. I've heard from people that it could be Sullivan present.
It smacks of Sullivan to me, I have to say.
Yeah.
It smacks of David Sullivan to me. But
especially how the deal is. Yeah, like the actual contract. The payment plan and all that shit.
Yeah, it smacks of Sullivan, I must say. But I don't want to nail my colours to
the only other player that we signed for an undisclosed fee was January 4th, which is a center forward named Callum Marshall out of Linfield.
Northern Ireland, okay.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the only transfers. And now loaning, we loaned in Areola on the 29th of July, and on deadline day, in August, we got Alex Krall. So And that was it. That's the only 2 loans in.
Yeah, Areola was delighted with.
100%.
Yeah, delighted
I
with.
hate goalkeepers, man. I love that
Yeah,
guy.
and you hate
Yeah.
goalkeepers. Yeah,
He
that's
does
true.
what I imagine a goalkeeper should do, for the most part. He has that everything about him that I love. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's a superb goalkeeper. I think. I think he should have been our number one goalkeeper all season, frankly.
Yeah.
And I don't have any kind of agenda against Fabianski whatsoever.
I
I'm
do.
not a Fabianski hater. I know you do. I'm
I
not a
am.
Fabianski hater. I'm not, so this isn't any kind of agenda-driven thing. I just rate Areola that much. I think he's tremendous. I mean, that save at home to Sevilla. I mean, you remember early in the game at home to Sevilla, that second leg, where
Yeah.
he almost like dived and scooped the ball from behind him. That bullet header, you remember, from point
Yeah.
blank range? He had absolutely no right to save that.
No.
Absolutely no right to save that. And somehow kept it out. And not only did he make the stop, he was able to push the ball down along the dead ball line to get it away
Yeah.
from goal. He didn't just
Like a
knock it
proper
out back
goalkeeper.
out in
Yeah.
front of him. Yeah, I mean, just he's a brilliant goalkeeper. I know we're trying hard now to get him signed permanently quickly, and we better get that done.
I think that
And he has to be our number one next season.
but
End of
that's the
story.
problem. I don't think he would. That's the problem. I think they will actually sign him. I don't think dude, there's too much loyalty amongst the fan base about Fabianski, and it feels as though Moyes feels the same way. Otherwise, he would have started Areola in more matches. I mean, even after Sevilla. I mean, anyway, I don't know. Let's jump in.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, Tim. I mean,
you don't think so?
Fabianski's got 1 year left in his contract, and I'm pretty sure we're not going to renew it. So,
Yeah. So
if we sign him permanently, I suspect Moyes will be doing it with a view to actually maybe even flipping their roles. I think where Areola will become the Premier League goalkeeper and Fabianski will play Conference League.
I think that would be fantastic. I would trust Fabianski to be able to handle that and be our cup keeper. I mean, I think that would be great.
Yeah. So I suspect if we do sign Areola permanently, I think. I mean, it would make no sense to do otherwise.
No.
It would make no sense to sign him on a permanent and then not have him as our number one keeper next season. He's clearly the better of the two keepers.
Yeah, I know, but we were just talking about signing of Vlasic and some of these other nitwits.
Yeah, but this would absolutely
not much makes sense, and there's not much logical in this club.
Yeah, but at least we know that if Areola signs permanently, it's Moyes.
Okay.
This is Moyes saying, let's get this guy signed up. I've had a look at him for a season. He's top class. Let's get this guy signed up on a permanent. I think Moyes would start him next season in Premier League.
We shifted more than a handful of people out on loan.
There was one more that came in, did you say? Oh, Kral.
No, that was it. Well, I'm sorry, with the loan, Kral. But again, what's there to say?
Nothing. Just a pointless thing,
about as much as Callum Marshall and Brian Kinnear. Really?
Yeah. Again, look, when he signed, I figured, okay, look, he's there for cover. You know, if we're stuck and at a pinch. Clearly, Moyes realised quite quickly he's not even good enough to be cover. And he was just there to pad the bench, really, and we didn't really see him. So, obviously, Moyes is looking at this guy in training every day. So, clearly just not good enough for Premier League in Moyes' eyes, and that's why we never saw him.
All right. Well, July 1st, we let Joseph Anang go to Stevenage. We sent off another academy keeper, Nathan Trott, off to Nancy over in France. Nathan Hall went to Oxford. Odebico, or whatever is Meepo, whatever the hell, did a short-term loan to Huddersfield. Coventry did a short-term to Peterborough. And then in January, Coventry ended up shifting over to MK Dons. Cardoso went on loan to Real Betis. And that Meepo guy went to Doncaster, and Anang went to St. Pat's. That's actually demotion. Wow, going from Stevenage to St. Pat's, you think?
Yeah, League of Ireland is very low down the pecking order, really. It's League One, and actually, do you know what? League One, League of Ireland.
The Stevenage League too.
Stevenage, no, St. Pat's would probably be better than than
Yeah.
them. But
All right. Well, probably okay.
yeah, St. Pat's have some European experience as well, by the way.
Okay.
So it probably is League of Ireland is probably a bit better, all right, than League One, than League Two.
The only person I can name from here that I heard was doing well on their loan was Coventry at MK Dons. I don't know what he did at Peterborough, but obviously they got relegated this year, so yeah. But he wasn't really all part of that. Nothing really to report there, but the transfers out was quite interesting, I think. There's a couple in here you might have an opinion on. Maybe we shouldn't let them go type of deals. Not in no particular order of that. I'm just saying I'm doing it in particular order of like when they left. So the first one that went out was Oladapo Afolian. I don't even know how the fuck to say his name. He went to Bolton. Yeah, he went to fucking Bolton and just ripped.
I couldn't
pour it up.
I'm telling you, hand on heart, I was so disappointed when we sold Afolian. I really liked him. He's a fullback, young, very promising. I'd seen a couple of him play a couple of times, and I thought he looks like a player. I thought he was someone worth giving an opportunity to in something like the Carabao Cup.
They used him up in the attack because he scored a shitload of goals for them this year. Bolton.
Afolian.
Yeah.
Sorry. Excuse me. I'm my mistake. I'm thinking of somebody else. Excuse me. We'll get to.
No, that's okay. But yeah, so he might have played. He might have played fullback, but they just like Fredericks plays also wing. No, okay. But yeah, so he was.
I've confused him with someone else. We'll get to him, I'm sure.
There's a lot of similar names. There's a lot of them in here.
Afolian, but I'm still stand by Afolian. I thought he had something about him actually.
100%.
So, yeah.
Sean Adarkwa, I don't know who the hell that is, but he's a center forward. This is the problem, letting attackers and center forwards and all that shit go. Anyway, we transferred him to Queen's Park Rangers. Akinola went to Patrick Thistle. Yeah, he's a fucking center back, dude. Balbuena to Moscow, Dynamo Moscow. What are your thoughts on that? There's been some people in the West Ham fan base that say, "Hey, man, if we still just, what would it have hurt to keep fucking Balbuena around? It probably would have helped us, in the latter months of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think it was possible. I liked him, Balbuena. He's a good player. I liked him. I rated him actually. Like at the start of the season, I would have had him as our third best centre back, frankly, just behind Zuma and Ogbonna. I would have had him rated higher than Diop. So I was disappointed to lose him. I thought he was a really good centre back, but I think it was out of our hands a little bit. I think he was eager to go somewhere where he could play week in, week out. I think he wanted out, so I think we kind of had to bite the bullet on that one and let him go. I liked him a lot, and it would have certainly been.
I was wrong.
I think that's why Dawson came in, but we lost him.
I was wrong actually. Adarkwa, Akinola, Balbuena, and also Sam Kager and Alfie Lewis and Josh Okacha. They were actually released, not transferred to those clubs that they went to. But yeah, Alfie Lewis ended up at St. Pat's. Okacha ended up at Hendon. That's fucking way down there. In like what, fucking 8th or 9th division in England. But wow. But Felipe Anderson went to Lazio. That was a big one. Carlos Richards went to Derby County on a free. And Zande Silva went to Nottingham Forest for an undisclosed fee. Winston Reed left with mutual consent. And then Frederick Alves went to Brondby for an undisclosed fee. Another center back. But the problem is, it's not the people themselves and the players themselves or the quality of the players that worries me. It's the fact that we were bitching and complaining about not signing enough people and not having enough depth. And a lot of the complaints, especially even from Moyes watching his press conferences or listening to some of the players being like, we've played so many games, we didn't have enough depth, we didn't sign anybody in January. That's what a lot of the fans are saying too. But yet we let go a shitload of players in those key positions that they might not have been the greatest fucking players, but what would it have hurt to have them there as depth? like rather than fucking putting people in positions they don't belong. Did they suck that bad that they wouldn't have done good, or that somebody in the wrong position would have done better than those people? I don't know, but it's a lot of center backs, dude. Like I'm looking through that fucking list of people names. It's mostly center backs and a couple center forwards, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. It's hard. Like I don't see enough of these players really a lot of them to even know much of anything about them, frankly. But yeah, like there were some that I thought looked like they had something about them. That maybe might have been worth a little gamble and give them that chance to say, look, show us what you can do. Like Odubeko, I thought was worth a gamble.
Yeah.
Like we saw a bit of him in pre-season. We also saw him in the cup. What was that game against Southend? It was the EFL Cup or something. No, the under-23s playing it against like League One teams, don't they? And stuff. He scored an absolute fucking cracker against Southend. I thought he had something about him, but I don't know if he has maybe a little attitude problem. But he doesn't seem driven. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem like he has that fire in him, like to really make it.
And not that we needed Connor Coventry or anything like that, but I mean, he had a phenomenal preseason with us.
Yeah, he was excellent. And then the thing that baffled me about that was that we sent Connor Coventry off and then brought in Alex Krall.
I didn't think of it like that. Yeah,
you're gonna tell me like Coventry couldn't have taken that position on the bench and actually been good enough that Moyes would have trusted him to come into some games.
Oh,
I don't get that.
You just blew my mind, man. I didn't even think of it like that. You say it like that.
Why would you not have Coventry on the bench all season instead of Krall? Why bring in a player when you've got one? You've got Coventry right there. Did really well in pre-season. Looks like a player.
He was only on a short-term loan as well. So he was only at Peterborough for half a season, and then the second half he went to MK Dons. So by January, he could have said, "Hey, we'll just keep him." And not send him off to another club.
I'll never understand that one.
I don't either. But the one good thing about speaking of preseason, because Coventry fucking was insane. Okaflex even scored a goal or two.
Can I just address Mark R here? Our academy looks decent. Moyes once played a young Wayne Rooney for Everton. Wayne Rooney was a generational talent. Of course he fucking played him. Declan Rice is a generational talent. So, yes, they get played, but there aren't many generational talents knocking around. Players who are going to become, like, genuine, absolute world-class players by the time they're, like, 23, 24. Like Rice and Rooney. I mean, those are... Mark, come on, man. Those are really rare exceptions. You're talking about incredibly gifted players that don't come along very often. Now, we had it, with Rio, players like that. They come along every once in a while, so yeah, of course they get played. But in general, Moyes does not play youngsters. Okay, like we've got two. We're gonna have two.
How long did he play Tim Cahill and fucking Leighton Baines when he was at Everton? Remember that? Like he played them into their fucking 40s almost. Yeah, didn't he? I mean, like late 30s.
So, listen, there's an absolutely, I think, brilliant young centre back at West Ham who's been on the bench this season and wasn't used.
Who?
Even when we had one fit centre back. You don't know? Come on. Mark R, come on. You like the academy. Who is it? Who's our brilliant young centre back who's been on the bench and couldn't even get a game when we had one fit centre back? Moyes decided instead he was going to switch to three at the back and play Cresswell and fucking Sofal, two of the smallest people. Thank you. There he is. He knows it. He's football memes of the month. You're switched on. Alesi, brilliant young centre-back. Brilliant young centre-back. And instead of playing him and sticking, so we can stick to our flat back four, Moyes, and it is on the bench. Moyes decides instead he's going to go to a back three and play fucking Cresswell and Sofal as centre-backs. And then we got destroyed in the air.
Yeah.
And lose the game. And you're going to be surprised we got destroyed in the air and lost the game fucking Sofal and Cresswell at centre back. They're too small. And Alesi is sitting on the fucking bench, 6'3", 6'4", something like that. Big, strong lad, natural centre back, and just a great young talent. I mean, come on, like, what does it take for Moyes to give these kids a chance? It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So the one good thing that happened during the preseason was we won a fucking trophy. Betway Cup.
Yeah, it's a pity we can't win a real one, isn't it?
I know. But yeah, we were flying.
Yeah, just actually football memes of the month makes a good point there about that. Baptiste looks a really good player as well, another centre back. He looks a really good young player as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. I think right now he's probably not Premier League ready. I think Alesi is. But I think Baptiste is right now absolutely Championship level. I think he could play centre back week in, week out for a really good Championship team, and I'd love to see that happen next season. I think Baptiste needs to go to a Championship team where he's playing week in, week out to really bring him along.
Yeah.
I think that could really help him improve and make him a better player. But I've got a lot of hope for Baptiste as well. He looks a good player.
Ashby's closest. Yeah, there's
Ashby's,
a lot of good.
yeah, but the problem for Ashby is he's a right back. As good as he is, and I really like Ashby. Nathan Ashby is a tremendous young player, I think. But his problem is he's got Sofal and Ben Johnson ahead of him.
Yeah.
But he is bumped up to third choice now. He's going to take up Frederick's position now next season. So he could see some game time next season. Frederick saw it this season. So I think one injury or suspension, either to Ben Johnson or Sofal, and and Ashby is on the bench, and could see some game time, possibly in domestic cups, depending on who we draw.
Our excuse me, our highest home attendance was 59,981 versus Sevilla on the 17th of March, and our lowest was 41,027 against Southampton on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I mean that's tremendous support.
Yeah, but again, looking at our finishes, though, like if you just step back and forget the last home match, or not the last home match, you forget the last match of the season. We finished 7th at the Premier League. We finished in the 5th round. We were knocked out of the 5th round of the FA Cup, quarterfinals of the EFL Cup, and semifinals of Europa League. I mean, there's a lot of teams that would fucking die for that. I mean, Southampton would die for that. You know what I mean?
Like, like I said,
Palace.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we have to remember how far we've come in a very short period of time. This season was thoroughly enjoyable. Yeah, we have our disappointments and maybe some missed opportunities. Look, the big one we're all going to look back on is Cresswell sending off. After 17 minutes out in Frankfurt. I mean, the question is always going to be in our minds: what if? What if we had 11 men for 90 minutes in that game? Would we be sitting here now as fucking Europa League champions? Because the possibility is there, and we'll never know. We'll never know because Cresswell panics when he has to defend one-on-one.
You think we would have gone to penalties with Rangers, or you think?
I think we'd have beat them outright. I think we'd have beat them in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think we'd have beat them in 90 minutes.
I didn't watch that match, so I don't even know how they even looked against Frankfurt. I didn't watch that. I couldn't.
Frankfurt and Rangers both look like what they are, which is decent sides, but nothing more. Not as good as West Ham. We should have knocked Frankfurt out, frankly. And I still, hand on heart, think we would have, if we'd had 11 men for 90 minutes. I think we would have done a job on them.
Yeah.
Not in the way we did with Lyon. It would have been a tougher game than that. But I still think we had enough about us. I still think we're a better team than Frankfurt. Okay, we didn't do ourselves justice in the first leg. They scored inside the first minute, which is obviously always going to be a blow. But fuck me, we hit the woodwork 3 times in that game at home to Frankfurt. We really shouldn't have lost that game. And that was on a night when we weren't great. Um, and we still should have at least gotten a draw out of that, if not won it. So I think with 11 men out in Frankfurt, I think we would have found a way through. It may have taken more than the 90 minutes, may have gone to extra time, but
Yeah, I was
I think on the
optimistic.
night, I think on the night we would have scraped through that and made the final, and I do think we would have beat Rangers. I really do. So
Yeah.
I think that Cresswell sending off is, if you're asking me for one thing this season, this whole season, that just really is going to grate on me, it's that Cresswell sending off. And it's why I want him replaced. That and the Leon sending off. But you can't do it. I mean, to do it once, and he does get hands on.
Yeah.
So if he's struggling one-on-one with a player, he struggles, he panics, he puts his hands on people, gets his hands and his arms around people, and when you do that, you're asking him to go down. As soon as you put your arms up there and around, you're saying to the player, right, go down, give the ref a decision to make. So, to do it against Leon, okay, he got stitched up like a kipper.
It was a season. It was a season of extremes, really extreme highs, extreme lows. I mean, the atmosphere that everybody was talking about at the home matches you got against Sevilla and against Lyon and against fucking Frankfurt were some of the greatest at Olympic Stadium. I mean, at London Stadium. I mean, that's what the all the supporters were saying. They were actually there. They were saying it was some of the best they've seen in its entirety. But then, these lows, like you're saying, with the Cresswell red cards. But, to me, what fucking hurt was losing in the quarterfinals to Tottenham. Like, of all fucking clubs, like 2-1 to fucking getting knocked out by them. I mean, I'd rather get knocked out by fucking United or whatever, out of a tournament or whatever, or City, but not Tottenham. Not in the quarterfinals. Not when what I'm saying. Like, that hurt me personally, like more so than the others. Because we did have some great matches.
and that was
Man U, and we beat City.
And that Tottenham reversal was at a time when Tottenham were not playing well.
No,
so that's a gutting one as well. Losing
you
to
fucking
them. And
Bergwijn and fucking Lucas were the scores.
Yeah, fucking ridiculous.
Dude, I know.
Yeah,
and then losing 3-1 to Southampton. Because we needed, we're getting ready for the fucking Europa League. We got,
Well, no, we played a strong team in that. And they made 9 changes. Remember?
I know, but
we played a strong. Like we made some.
They made us look silly.
You did. I mean, their second string team kind of embarrassed us, to be honest. I mean, it's that wasn't good.
And we barely got through fucking Kidderminster the week before, or the match before that, like a month before.
We did have our games this season where we did. Genuinely horrendous.
It was highs and like really high or really fucking low, man. It was crazy, but to finish again at the end of the day, to finish the way we did.
Look, you'll get games like that.
I fucking hate the fact that like I can accept the Frankfurt loss more than I can accept the 3-1 loss against fucking Brighton, because that would have okay, we didn't win this time around, but we got experience in the Europa League. Let's go next year and fucking win it.
Yeah. Plus,
now we don't have that fucking chance. Now it's like a little sidetrack question, real quick. United with Ten Hag or fucking Arteta, Arsenal, who's the favorite now? I mean, it's got to be one of those two, right, to win the fucking Europa League next year, since we're not in it.
I think Arsenal will actually do really well in that.
I think so too. Yeah,
I think in European football, I think Arsenal will do really well. See, I don't know about United. I've got no clue. Ten Hag, I've got absolutely no idea what to expect from United next season.
I don't either. But I just have this weird calm before the storm that it's actually going to be fucking. I think he's going to do a great job. I think they're going to totally fucking turn around. I think he has a better chance than anybody they've had recently. I think he's got that fucking attitude, that Manchester United fucking attitude that Ole didn't fucking have. Ole's a pussy. You know what I'm saying? This guy doesn't take shit from anybody. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of guy I would love to face off with. Like that. You give you a
That's
good
where, yeah,
game.
and that's actually where I think Moyes fell down at United as well.
Yeah,
He brought an Everton mentality into one of the biggest clubs in the world, and
exactly.
just signed Fellaini. Like hand on heart, like if I'm his assistant manager, and I was saying, David, look, I know he did a great job for us at Everton, but this is Manchester United. You don't sign fucking Fellaini for Man United. You just don't. This is Manchester United. This is one of the biggest clubs in the world. You know,
You could have signed anybody.
you could sign. You go. You don't sign for. You go and buy a world class central midfielder. You take him. If there's a world class central midfielder somewhere playing for whoever, some team in France or some fucking team in
Yeah.
Italy or Spain, you literally go and you take him from them. You say, we're signing him. We're Man United. We're taking your player because he's world class and we want him. Now, how much
Yeah.
money is it going to take? Because
Yeah.
the players wants to go. You don't go and sign Fellaini from the team you just came from. You just don't. And that was where Moyes fell down at United. He just didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think he wrapped his head around the fact that how giant of a club he was now managing, and that you have got to be signing like top players.
Exactly. So that's where I think Ten Hag is actually going to fucking. It's going to be something we haven't seen in a long time. I just have that feeling. Not that I want it. Trust me, I fucking hate United. But I'm just saying, it's going to be something that we haven't seen in a long time, and they're going to fucking just murder people. It's going to be insane. I have a feeling, and so the fact that they're in Europa League, I think that's it's going to be between like them or Arsenal, because Arsenal are fucking improving. They keep getting better and better and better and better. But again, it's I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
But somebody had a question here.
Yeah, I think with Arsenal, just before I will get to that.
That's not a question actually, but point. Yeah, go ahead.
A statement. Yeah. I think with Arsenal, I agree with you. I think they're going to keep getting better.
Yeah.
I think they've got possibly the youngest team in the Premier League. I mean,
really?
A lot of young players. Yeah, they're a very young side. So I think if Arteta can bring in this summer a sprinkling of quality, experienced leaders for them youngsters to be around on the pitch, because that's what they were missing this season, Arsenal. Just that bit of leadership, bit of experience, those wise shoulders who understand how to see a game out and understand the dark arts a little bit and how to see their way through games and win games, the ugly stuff that you've got to be able to do too. I think if he can sign three players, quality, obviously the quality has to be there, but they're experienced, older players. I want to say older, obviously, I mean, in the later 20s, players who are 26, 27, 28, 29 even. If you're bringing in a centre-back, bring in a fucking 29, 30-year-old centre-back who's been around the block, who knows what it's all about and has a lot of quality. Bring in a fucking midfielder who's 28, 29, who's been there, at big clubs, played in Europe, knows what it's all about, and can help guide these younger players and see them through games and be leaders. I think that's all Arsenal are missing. If they can if Arsenal can get their signings right this summer, I think they could be one of the teams to watch next season.
It's going to be tough up there at the top. God. But yeah, so this guy basically said, Mark R. actually said 2 goals up in Man City and drawing was a missed opportunity. The Brighton game would have been meaningless. We did discuss that earlier. I don't know if you missed that, Mark, but yeah, we're basically saying that, I think that it was lost. Like 6th place was lost like weeks ago, like months ago, when they kept complaining about too many games in a short period of time and the lack of transfers. So there so many excuses why, and injuries, and they just didn't have enough depth to be able to handle a Sunday after a Thursday match. It was too much. Yeah, but anyway, I don't think Arteta. I don't think Arteta will do anything with Arsenal next season. I actually think he may be sacked in January. Wishful thinking, my friend.
Believe it or not, there is a line of thought that goes that way. With a lot of people, I don't think Eamon certainly isn't on his own in thinking that.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people who don't rate Arteta and don't think he's going to bring Arsenal on. I happen to
he proved me wrong so far.
Yeah, listen, I think he will improve them, and I think Arsenal will have a good season next season.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I remember going back when Arsenal were not last season, Arsenal were not going well. They were really struggling. They weren't having a good time. Things were bad, and Arsenal fans were already calling for his head pretty early on in his tenure. And I was tweeting, like sometimes that Arsenal fans saying, "You're absolutely wrong on this." I said, "He's just in the door." I said, "Look, he's got a job in his hands." I said, "Give him time. Don't panic. Don't do a Watford, because this is how you'll end up at Arsenal. You'll end
Yeah.
up like Watford. Managers get fucking 20 games and it's not going well and they're out the door, and then you're trying another guy, and then he's out the door and you're trying another guy. You're going nowhere." I was saying to them, be patient. I know you're playing crap. I know you're losing games. I said, I'm telling you, Arteta, give him time. I'm telling you, he's going to turn this around. He will turn it around, I'm telling you. And they really ought to have finished in fourth. They really should have. I think, again, it's the inexperience in the team. They're very young. And I think the inexperience caught up with them at crunch time. But they'll have learned from that. And like I say, if he can bring in some players with some experience and some leadership, I think Arsenal, are going to be a good side. So I disagree. If I'm proven wrong, I'll hold my hands up and say, okay, I got it wrong about Arteta. But I'm with you, Tim. I think Arteta's going to get it right at Arsenal. They just have to show a little bit of patience.
It will be proven this season, just like Eamon was saying right here. Like this upcoming season with Europa League, with Europa football, and with Europe, I think that which he didn't have this season. I think
to be honest, Damon, I think people overplay this whole. Oh, it's so much harder when you have European football, and then I'm sorry. I think Arsenal will be perfectly capable of dealing with
they definitely have more depth than we do.
Yeah, they'll be capable of dealing with that.
Oh yeah,
Again,
that's right.
Spurs as well.
Champions League next year. That's right.
Spurs as well. Spurs will handle it fine.
Well, and Conte, great fucking manager, man. I mean,
Conte
can't stand the fucking guy. He's a great manager.
He's a world-class manager.
Exactly, he gets the shit done.
Absolute world-class manager. Yeah.
If he came in there in such the worst fucking scenario, man, and I don't know how the fuck they managed to just get up to fourth so fast. They were struggling when he first got there, and
you could see too, like from his reaction after games.
Yeah, I watched those interviews.
He didn't hold anything back.
No,
he did not hold anything back.
I just don't know.
No, he gave him. He gave the players like both barrels publicly.
Yeah,
and he doesn't mess around. Like he's had so many world class players like that he's managed.
That'll be interesting to see who they sign, who they attract over the summer.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what their budget is. Oof. And see, because they can't have a big budget, surely. I mean,
not unless somebody goes. Yeah,
they cannot.
That's usually how it works with them.
Yeah, they can't have much of a budget. I mean, that stadium is a fucking anchor around their necks.
Yeah. So let's get into because we only got about 7 minutes left before I got to go. But let's go into what's most important. I mean, I keep hearing bullshit about fucking sloppy seconds fucking coming back. Jesse Lingard.
Get Lingard in for fuck's sake. We've got to get someone on that left-hand side. It's absolutely vital.
Yeah.
And Lingard,
he's like great. To me, he's like the fuck's his name? Rio. Like he's a red. He's not West Ham.
Oh, I don't care. He's always been a red. He's always been a red. He's never been West Ham.
Every time we go to sign him or we want to sign him back or bring him back, the rumors were, we're going to bring him back this next one. He's like, oh, but wait, you just got a new manager. Wait, I got to see if he likes me first. That's more important to me than coming to West Ham. Then fuck you, dude.
Well, look, I can kind of understand. He's been there since he was a kid. He's Manchester.
No, and I get it too. But again, why the
all the way up through their academy? No, I can understand. That's his club.
Look, he's class. I'm not going to complain if we get him. Obviously, I'm not going to complain. I'm not an idiot. He's a great fucking footballer, and he did well for us. And he does know some of the players. He has played with them, etc., etc. So I'm not going to be fucking bent out of shape if we get him. I think my point is though. I think that there's elsewhere to look. There's a million fucking footballers on this planet. A handful of them are really good. Let's fucking There's other players, man. There's other left wingers.
Yeah, granted. But look, if this is who Moyes wants, go get him.
All right.
He's already played. He's already played for the club. Did a great job. We know. So
what else do we need, my man? So I was saying, besides Lingard and all that bullshit, like what do we? What does Tommy think that we really It's just a fucking above all else. We must focus. We must get this shit in, boys.
Number 9. Number 9, top of the priority list. Absolute
One?
top of the priority list.
Just one?
Well, let's start with fucking 1 anyway.
I know. Let's start with one. I'll take a half right now. Fucking A.
Well, yeah, look, the second striker is not our second highest priority, right? There would be another position that would come second, ahead of a second striker. But first priority is a proper fucking number 9 that has a bit of pace and is a natural finisher.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any hair, and so now I'm starting to pull my beard out, and it's getting patchy because of fucking Antonio. Every time he gets in front of goal, he's just not a finisher. And I like Antonio. I have a lot of time for him. Great guy, great character. He runs his fucking socks off. Man, does that man work for the team. So I'll never slag Antonio. He works for the fucking team. And I've been wondering for the entire second half of the season, what if Moyes had done what he should have fucking done and got a proper number 9 in January and could have moved Antonio out to the left wing? With Antonio terrorizing people out on the left wing and supplementing the attack with a proper goal-scoring number 9 up front, what might have been? What might have been? So, number 1 priority for me is the attack. And it starts with a proper number 9 who's got a bit of pace about him. I don't give a fuck if he's big and burly. Couldn't care less. You know, we don't need a big burly Antonio clone who can finish.
Yeah.
We don't need another big burly Adama Traore winger to convert to fucking striker. We need a proper number 9 who's a finisher, who has an eye for goal, bit of pace, can make those runs, those clever runs in behind. Look at those clever runs that Bowen makes. Bowen makes brilliant runs from the outside in. That's a proper forward with a forward's instinct.
He feels space and then finds himself there. He feels it and then magnetically just attracts himself to whatever space there is, man.
He has a forward's instincts.
Yeah.
On the runs he makes. And that's what we need in a number 9. A number 9 who makes those instinctive runs into those spaces to get in behind. And who then, when he's in behind, can finish. That is our number 1 priority for me this summer. So that's number 1. We have to get someone on left midfield. Have to. Whether it's Lingard or somebody else, we have to get someone in there with a bit of skill, bit of pace, who will attack the box and can finish. Lingard does all of those things, by the way.
More so than left back?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm sick to death of our attack, our front 4. Like, we've got a forward up front who isn't a finisher and who scores sporadically. As much as he works his ass off, and for all the good things he does, and he does a lot of good things in the game, Antonio. But finishing isn't one of them, and we need a finisher up top. Sorry, I disagree. I think our attack absolutely has let us down, Eamon. Fornals, I'm sorry, is not an attacker. He's been dreadful out on the left-hand wing. He's been dreadful. Benrahma has been okay in patches. He's done well in patches. We need someone else. Imagine if we have another Jared Bowen on the left. Imagine we have another Jared Bowen on the left. Are you seriously telling me, Eamon, that's not a massive upgrade on Fornals or Benrahma, on the impact they have in the game? If Lingard comes in, has the impact he had when he joined on loan 18 months ago, are you seriously telling me that doesn't have a massive impact on our ability to win games?
That's why I wish it was just as easy to sack managers. I'm sorry, sack players as it was to sack managers, because we would have, like, for inconsistency or 4 shitty performances in a row, like fucking Brazil, you lose 4 matches in a row, you get fired, you get sacked. Yeah. Like with fucking Benrahma has been so fucking inconsistent. Fornals is another one. He'll do a fucking worldie. He'll have a fucking wonderful match, and then he'll be like, Fornals is on the team sheet again, like for like 3 matches in a row. Like those guys, they're not consistent enough. Like you got.
And listen, what does what does Fornals works his bollocks off, does all the running and yada yada yada. What does he offer going forward and attacking the edge of the penalty area, scoring goals? Nothing. He's not a threat. And we need someone over there who's like Jared Bowen, who's a threat, who's going to be a fucking problem for fullbacks and centre backs. Who's going to be a fucking problem. So they look and go, fuck me, you've got Jared Bowen over here, and let's say Lingard or whoever it is over here. It's like, fucking hell, these are two really serious players that are going to cause us problems when they're running at us. And then you add in a number 9 who's a natural finisher and makes us good runs as well. In an ideal world, I'd have a new number 10 instead of Lanzini. I'd have a number 10 in who's going to do the same, who's really clever, and is going to actually get shots off and going to attack the box, and it's going to cause real problems. I think, I would hand on heart change 3 of the front 4 if I could.
Yeah, I think to answer Eamon here, I think attack is the best defense. Like a solid attack, but
listen, defensively, we've had our problems. I accept that, but I think we've had our problems because too many players have just been in and out. Sofal said his injury problems. He was carrying an injury for a while and playing in pain. Johnson came in and did well, defensively. So I like Johnson. Also, we've had Ogbonna out for most of the season. I mean, do you remember how fucking good that Ogbonna-Zuma partnership was before Ogbonna went out injured? They were unbelievable together. A brilliant centre-back partnership, Ogbonna and Zuma. They were doing tremendous stuff. And obviously Cresswell, I think, now this season has hit the wall. He was really great the season before, but I think this season now Cresswell has hit the wall. So if you imagine next season, we probably will sign a centre-back. We're already heavily linked with this lad.
Definitely.
Where is he?
Don't say that fucking Burnley shithead.
No, I don't. We're not going to sign Tarkowski. I don't think so. There's a lad in France. We were linked with him today.
Yeah, fucking Aguerd.
Let's say even if we don't sign him, Oggy will be back. Oggy's still a tremendous centre back. Unbelievable experience. His reading of the game is brilliant. He's good in the air. Him and Zuma are a great partnership.
Yeah,
but I do think we'll sign a centre back. So let's
100%.
Two really good centre backs. Areola in goal, who's an upgrade on Fabianski, and a new left back, which is the other position I was going to mention. We have to get a left back in.
100%. So we have to upgrade. Now the question is, because again, Eamon isn't wrong that we have to upgrade the fucking defense. We do. That's what we do. Absolutely.
And I think we will. I believe
the question is.
I think we'll get this lad from Rangers as well.
Will we? First and foremost, will we do it? And secondly, offense or defense, or we will just sign 1 or 2 guys over the summer, or will it be all the 5 positions that we fucking need? And also, will it be will we sign the center back first? Will we sign somebody out of fucking position first that we don't necessarily that was maybe 5th on the fucking list, just to say they signed somebody and then let us wait till fucking deadline day and then pay for fucking Vlasic again? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. I'm already a little encouraged from what I'm hearing. That we're already in talks with Lingard about getting him signed up, and we're in advanced talks to get Aguerd in, the centre back. And by the way, he's a left-footed centre back, which is perfect. So he can play now as the left centre back, and we can put Zuma back in his best position as the right-sided centre back, because Zuma's had to play fucking left-sided centre back. And still done a tremendous job, but he's definitely better as the right-sided centre-back. Yeah. So if we've got him and Aguerd and Oggy next season, plus Dawson, I think will still be here. I don't think Diop will. I think we'll try to recoup as much of the Aguerd money as we can by selling Diop. And we'll get most of it back, I think. So
Aguerd will happen, mark my words.
So Aguerd, I think... whatever we pay for Aguerd, I think we'll offset most of that by selling Diop. So Aguerd will actually prove to be quite cheap in the end, I think. So if we get Aguerd in and we can get a left back, I think that lad from Rangers had a tremendous season, and he's a natural left back, even though they've had to put him in at centre back. I think if we get those 2 in, get Lingard in, get it done early, then we're really on the road. We're on our way. For me, it's early business. What I hate seeing is these late ones, because if we get these players in and they're in by the time we start preseason, that's perfect, because now they're starting preseason with everyone else. They can get up to speed with Moyes' tactics, the way we set up, get used to their teammates and the way we play, and they're ready to roll when the new season comes around. If you're signing a player late and they get barely any training in with us before the season starts, of course they're likely to start slow because they haven't integrated properly. So I'm encouraged a bit that we're in talks already with at least 2 players that. And this Aguirre one looks like it's quite advanced. I think that'll happen very quickly, which would be great to see, because we can't dally now. We've got to get players signed. So if in the next couple of weeks we've got fucking Lingard and Aguirre signed, I mean, we're off to a great start. So, and like I say, Aguirre could prove to be quite cheap.
Yeah.
We won't have to spend any transfer money really or very little on Lingard, because he's a free transfer. It's just the signing on fee and his agent's fee. So,
real quick before we go, my final question to you is there a striker, a real true number 9 that you'd like us to sign? Is there anybody that you can even think of that we should go after? I haven't heard any fucking links at all.
two immediately. I love Broja. He's been on loan at Southampton from Chelsea all season. He looks a proper player. He's 21. Fucking, he looks a player. He's quick. He's strong. He's a finisher. He's now had a season in the Premier League. He's up to speed. He's ready to go. He's plug and play. I've been really impressed with Broja at Southampton. And that's for Southampton. We haven't had a good season. I think you put him in a proper team, Broja, and you give him chances. I think he'll score goals. I really like him. I'm big on Broja. I know he'll cost money, but I would love to see a splash out on a striker like Broja. I would pay the money. I really would. If Chelsea turned around and said, "Look, he's 40 million, boys," I'd say, "Fuck it, here you go." I'd give it.
Yeah.
I'd give him the 40 million. I'd say, "Look, he's 21. He's only going to get better."
Yeah.
And from what we've seen of him at Southampton this season, I've been so impressed. Whatever goals he has scored for Southampton, he'll probably score 3 times as many for us, because we will create chances for him.
Yeah.
Way more than Southampton do. I like everything about that kid. I think he's got a massive future. And if we get him signed now, I guarantee you, if and when the time comes when we do sell him, it'll be for fucking more than we signed him for. I think he's got a really big future. I really like him. I'd love to get him signed up.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody.
So just to condense it, in an ideal world, a number 9, left winger, a number 10, a left back, a centre back, and honestly,
5, right? Yeah.
A DM even. I think if we could get someone in beside Rice, who's a proper sitting DM, so we can let Rice go do his thing and do that box-to-box thing. I don't think that'll happen, and I don't think it's the biggest priority, because we do have Souček there. I just worry about Souček next season. I don't know where his head's at. I have a suspicion we'll sell Souček this summer, I have a suspicion we'll sell him. I really do. I think Moyes wants to move Souček on. I do. I don't think he sees Souček Rice as a workable partnership. I really don't. I think Moyes wants to get a proper sitting midfielder into that position beside Rice, so that he can just take the leash completely off Rice and say, right, now you're going box to box, proper box to box player now. Lampard style, box to box. You're getting up there near the box. You're getting shots off. You're going to start scoring some more goals, because I have this other guy who's not going to get bitchy because he has to sit. And Souček, I think, is getting bitchy because he has to sit more. Because remember, when Souček came in, he was the raiding midfielder. Yeah. He was the one who got forward. And to be fair, he did a great job. Apache, who's Noble's replacement, Connor Coventry.
There you go.
And to be fair, I think Souček did a tremendous job in that first season because he was the raiding midfielder and Declan was kind of sitting.
Yeah.
But now it's reversed. Declan has shown that, okay, he's going to be world class as a box-to-box midfielder. Souček never will be. And so Souček has been asked this season, okay, you need to sit back more because we're going to let Declan go. Because when Declan carries that ball forward, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I think Souček is a bit pissy about that and doesn't like it, which is fair enough. I can understand his point of view, but I just think it's not going to work now between the two of them.
I honestly think him and Sufal can go. I mean, it wouldn't bother me at all. I mean,
me either.
I think they're both replaceable.
Oh,
I think they're both easier to replace than fucking I don't know, finding a left back.
I think if we
that's not
sell,
2 feet tall.
If we sell Souček, we get good money for him.
I know.
We can say to teams, look, Souček's 40 million.
Yeah.
And we'll get it. We will get it. And at 40 million, you can say, right now we're gonna fucking go all out now. We're gonna sign a fucking proper DM here. You know, a Calvin Phillips who's gonna sit. We might even test.
I love that. Yeah.
We might even test Leeds metal on that one. And say to them here, Calvin Phillips. And if they say, look, it's 50 mil, we'll say, fucking, if we've got 40 for Souček, we might just say, yeah, we'll throw the 10 million in on top. Here's fucking 50 mil. Give us Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
I mean, they play together for England. You know, so you're telling Calvin Phillips, right, you're coming in, you're the defensive midfielder, you do what you always do. You do a brilliant job as a defensive midfielder, you know, breaking down position attacks, breaking up the play, doing what you do best, and Deckers is going to be our box-to-box. I mean, can you imagine, fucking hell, Tim, can you imagine Rice and Phillips as our midfield fucking partnership? Yeah. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's stepping up.
That's fucking leveling up. That's a statement.
Yeah, leveling up, yeah, definitely.
That's when you're saying, right, we're fucking serious.
Yeah.
And other teams, like, seriously, will look around going, fucking hell. West Ham are not joking, you know, Phillips and Rice.
There's got to be some, but I know, but there's also going to be other options out there too. But
of course, I'm just I'm just throwing that out there as the kind of thing I'm talking about.
No, 100%, I agree.
You get a proper fucking DM in there who's top quality alongside Rice, it would be massive. So striker, left midfielder, number 10, defensive midfielder, left back, centre back. In an ideal world, and we won't get all. I
agree with all of that. That's what I was letting you say it.
We could probably the two positions we could probably manage along with for this season is if we didn't get a DM and we didn't get a number 10, we could probably manage away. You know, we'd have the likes of Lanzini there, and Cornell's can play number 10 if we keep. He is a number 10. Obviously, defensive midfielder. Souček can still do a job next season if he's still here. We could bring back Coventry. We can, we can manage away there. Fornells can slot in there. Even Lanzini has played in that position because you're not going to come up against real great midfields every week. You're going to have a lot of games next season against poorer teams where you're going to dominate the ball anyway. You don't necessarily need another two great DMs in there. There's actually games, Tim, where I don't even want two of them in there. There'd be games where I say, why are we playing 4-2-3-1? Like, we don't need two defensive midfielders against this lot. They're mugs. You know what I mean? We're going to outplay them anyway. Play 4-1-4-1. Let's get an extra midfielder up there. Let Deckers be the one in front of the defense. Fine for this team. So we're okay there, but 100% we have to get a left back. We have to get a left midfielder. We have to get a forward, proper striker. And Moyes will sign a centre-back probably before anything else, and that's fine. Let's get a centre-back in just in case Oggy goes down again, or someone who can take Oggy's place, and we can have Oggy as a backup. I mean, Oggy would be a great backup at centre-back. So get this Aguerd fella, if that's who you fancy. Get him in, get a left-back, get a left midfielder, get a striker, and then we're really on our way, to having a great season next season.
Yeah. All right, well, I have to wrap this up, but... awesome. Thank you, everybody, for the chat. Listen, there was a lot of cool people in the chat today. I really appreciate that. Eamon and Hammerhead and Rob and Mark and Apache, and there's somebody else in there earlier too. Epic Hashtime popped in, and
I saw the rumors about
football means
Calvin Phillips to City. I don't see it myself, but
either way. I mean, look, and someone also said, I think it was Hammerhead said that he's injury prone. I think that is true. I don't think prone, maybe not, but he has had a couple injuries.
He had one bad injury that kept him out for a long time. But
yeah.
So do, a lot of players get those.
We'll see.
It happens.
But he's young enough that
I don't think
rather quickly.
I doubt if Pep Guardiola sees Calvin Phillips as Man City level, frankly. And I don't think he is. I don't think he's that elite level, but he would do a tremendous job for us.
But we should be thinking about the national team level players. I mean, that's what you're also saying. Like having someone like Calvin Phillips doesn't, yes, Calvin Phillips would be fantastic, but it doesn't have to be. It could be somebody else that's like a starting or a really quality fucking national
someone in that mold.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks everybody in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button before you leave, please. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Also share these videos around. I know there's, it's just really at the moment me and Lee doing shows, but there's going to be a lot more shows that we're figuring out scheduling over the summer so that next season we'll be back in action.
Can I just say as well, strikers, yes. There is a second I have to mention. If it's not Broja, I really like Dennis at Watford. Really like him. I think he'll score goals for us too.
That's the thing. I think he'd score a lot more for us than he did with them.
Absolutely, 100%. Every time I've seen him play this season, I thought, fucking hell, he's a player. Where have they found him from?
Yeah. Good. No, that is a good show. Yeah. I'll talk to you off the air real quick, but everybody else, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you, like I said, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff, and check out our shop. Some fun stuff in there. You know what I mean? But everybody else, have a good day. I know Lee will be doing his 8-hour-long season review at some point, some night this week. So stay tuned for that. If you were subscribed to our channel, you'll get the notification when his show is about to come up. So please do that. Awesome. Have a good night. Come on, you Irons, and I'll talk to you.